Good afternoon, Winstanley. My name's Phoebe.
And my name is Joe, and we would like to welcome you to the first ever airing of the new Winstanley TV Network.
We've got loads of exciting things happening in the coming weeks, like notices, game shows, interviews, and more.
We'll be here every Monday, so make sure to stay tuned.
This week we have a special programme made by our T-level students, including exclusive interview with our principal.
These students, they've worked so hard to put this show together, and it's our honour to show it on our programme.
Without further ado, we would like to hand you to our T-level students. Hello, my name's Phoebe Lander and welcome to the Winstanley T-Level News Show. During the autumn term, Winstanley College have been heavily involved in enrichment activities. The enrichment programme at Winstanley shows there's more to student life than just gaining qualifications. My colleagues Lily, Aaliyah and I recently interviewed students and teachers about the enrichments they participate in. Let's hear what they had to say.
Enrichments at Winstanley are valued by both students and teachers.
They allow students to grow,
socialise,
and participate in activities they enjoy.
How long have you been a dance teacher?
I've been working at Winstanley for 14 years.
How is preparation for the musical going?
It's going great. We meet 4 times a week and we have already done 3 numbers, so we've got about another 5 to go.
Very exciting. And how does the dance enrichment benefit students?
Oh, it's just fantastic. It's a great way to meet people, make friends, but also learn new skills, choreography, different dance genres. We do contemporary, commercial, jazz. So it's just a great way of kind of spending your study time.
What does taking an enrichment do for students and benefit them?
So for the students, I find that they actually really love the enrichment and it's the best part of the week. They get to make really good friends during enrichments, they get to have lots of fun. It's great for mental well-being as well as for health benefits. So it's a good break from study and it's a good way to kind of relax with your friends but do something that's still kind of developing other skills as well, like soft skills such as communication and commitment and reliability.
Here's Aaliyah, a member of the Winstanley TV team, speaking more on this enrichment.
What enrichment do you participate in?
Winstanley TV.
And what made you want to do this?
Well, I do the T-level in media broadcast and production, and I thought being a part of Winstanley TV would further my skills and yeah.
And do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really fun. I have a big passion for the film and TV industry and yeah, really enjoy it.
Recently, the Winstanley football team had their first competitive game and first victory of the season, winning 5-0 against Ashton Sixth Form. Now let's hear it from Tom, reporting from the thrilling game.
Thank you, Phoebe. I'm here at Winstanley College, about to watch Winstanley versus Ashton Sixth Form. Stakes are high, tension's building. Yeah. It was a bit of a collision outside the box, wasn't there? Can you tell us about that?
The striker's been played through one-on-one. I've gone to spread myself, he's knocked it past me. Straight away tried to get up and tell the ref it's hit my thigh, and as I'm telling him that, he said to me, no, I've seen it, don't worry. They were adamant it was a foul, but I knew I got a touch on the ball. So ref decision's final and I'm not going to complain with it when I did get a touch on it. So.
Perfect result for Winstanley. How do you think they played as an overall?
Yeah, it was a really good result. First off performance I was really happy with. A really good intensity, work rate, put into practice what we worked on in training. Second off, dropped off a little bit, but still managed to get 2 goals. So chuffed, really good opening day performance overall.
You're away next game. How are you going to prepare for that?
Yeah, so we've got training today in the lovely British weather. So hopefully we get a good number of lads turning up for training. Probably be a lot of ball work, a lot of possession. Hopefully it'll probably be a lot tougher on Wednesday. Last year we actually lost against the same opposition, so hopefully we can get a better result this time.
Was there any negatives in the game that you thought you could improve on?
I wouldn't say any negatives as such. I thought probably the tempo dropped off a little bit in the second half, but that kind of happened when you're kind of in control of the game. Put two good, really strong halves together. That'd probably be the objective really for the next game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. What a great first week of sport here at Winstanley. On the other hand, we have a very diverse selection of extracurricular activities such as Dungeons and Dragons. With more information, here's Lucas speaking about the fantastic club.
What is Dungeons and Dragons for those who don't know?
Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons is an immersive role-playing tabletop experience. It involves kind of social play with a group of friends where you typically kind of build a story together, a narrative. It's diversified quite a bit recently into something much broader as like a framework for other styles of play as well. Yeah.
Why did you think Dungeons and Dragons was worthwhile as an enrichment here at Winstanley?
Okay, there's a lot of reasons really. I guess my first thought was that it's an excellent way for people to make friends, and I think a really important part of like the enrichment offer at the college is about people being able to find friendship groups.
Has Dungeons and Dragons become more popular recently?
I think the Netflix TV show Stranger Things, which has built a lot of its mythology and the charm of its characters around them being these kind of basement-dwelling nerds playing earlier editions of Dungeons and Dragons. That's made it kind of blow up in popularity is its online presence, and that it's perhaps a more easily accessible pastime now because through platforms like Dungeons and Dragons Beyond, you can access free play materials that are easy to follow and use.
How does a regular game of Dungeons and Dragons work exactly?
Essentially, it boils down to there are two roles that you can inhabit, and there's the role of what we call the game master or the dungeon master, GM or DM, depending on how traditional you are, and that person is responsible for kind of building the world. And then you have your players who role play as characters, typically adventurers in a party who are working towards a common goal.
Somebody wants to join D&D Enrichment, how would they go about that?
Okay, that's really simple. So just to reiterate, my name's Ron Bowes. You can message me on Teams as a member of staff at the college, and I can help you out.
Wow, there's so much going on here at Winstanley College. Everybody is so busy, including me. This week I interviewed the one and only Simon Lett, the new principal of Winstanley College. Hi there, I'm Phoebe Lander here at Winstanley TV, and today I'm going to be interviewing the new principal, Simon Lett. Hi, how are you?
Hi Phoebe, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
First question, how was your first half term here at Winstanley going?
Really well, thank you. I'm really loving it. It's a terrific college. The students are brilliant. The staff are lovely. They go above and beyond. The campus looks amazing. So yeah, all going really well so far.
Would you say it's a big change from like your other jobs that you've had in the past?
Well, yes and no. My previous college was a sixth form college in Huddersfield, and it was very similar to Winstanley in the sense that similar type of provision, similar type of students, main destination is university, so similar in that way. But the big difference was that Greenhead, my previous college, was just 5 minutes walk from the bus and train station, so you don't have all the buses and coaches coming into Winstanley. That's the big difference, I think.
Before you were principal, what did you teach?
Media and film studies, yeah. So I did my degree in media and communication, and then when I left, my lecturer, one of my lecturers, said, why don't you do some part-time teaching, which I did, and I really loved it, and I've been in teaching ever since. And when I started being a teacher, so this was in 1993, I think it would have been very rare for someone to teach media at that time who'd actually got a media degree, because most people who taught media which was a subject in its infancy in those days. Most people who taught media at that time were English teachers, drama teachers, sociology teachers. So I was very young, I was only 23, but it was quite rare at that time. But yes, media and film is my subject background.
That's amazing. A little birdie told us that your favourite film's Jaws. Personally, I've never seen Jaws before, but why is it your favourite film?
Why haven't you seen it? It's an amazing film. Yeah, Jaws is an absolutely amazing film. Quentin Tarantino said it's the best movie ever made. So he didn't say it's the best film ever made. He said it's the best movie ever made. And it is, because it's everything you want from a movie, in my opinion. It's scary, it's exciting, it's funny. You care about the characters. And even now, 50 years later, I know when you look at it, it's a bit clunky from a special effects point of view, and a modern day audience knows that sharks don't behave in the way that the shark behaves in the film, but even so, it still works. It's still an exciting, scary movie, and every time I see it, and I've seen it, I don't know how many times, but there's something you don't see that you see for the first time when you see it again, so I just think it's an amazing film.
Obviously, I've never saw it, but do you actually know what the shark's called?
Bruce.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. And the shark from Nemo is actually named after...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually named after that shark as well. What was it about Winstanley College that made you want to work here?
Well, when I first worked in education, it was in further education colleges, and I worked in 3 very big FE colleges, one in Birmingham, one in Bristol, and one in Blackpool. And FE is brilliant, it's fabulous, but when I moved into the sixth form college sector, I noticed that there was a big change. They were smaller, and you can put more emphasis on support for students as well, and there's more enrichment, just the whole field climate of a sixth form college. And that's why I've stayed in the sixth form college sector, and that's why I wanted to come to Winstanley, because it's not an exams factory, and there is an emphasis on developing the whole person, and that's really important for me, that students get a really good classroom experience, but they get opportunities to develop as people and become good citizens, and that sets them up for later life.
Obviously, leading on from that, what would you say to potential students and parents who would say Winstanley College is an exam factory? What would you do to change this perception?
Well, it isn't an exams factory, and I saw that in my previous college as well, and I think often high-performing sixth form colleges always have myths associated with them, that they're too hard on students and they don't care and they don't support students, and Winstanley's not like that. And what I intend to do is just hammer home that message and chip away in every opportunity that I have with prospective students and parents and members of the community, and just hammer home that students are supported here. And I think the best way of putting that message across is to use people like yourself, Phoebe, and you're the best advert for Winstanley and the student community themselves. If they can tell prospective students and their families what it's really like to be a student here, then I think we'll succeed in getting that message across. So using alumni is really important in getting that message across.
We know one of your big ambitions for Winstanley College is to make students feel supported, but why is that so important to you?
Well, I guess it stems from my own experience of education. I was a real low achiever at school. I left school with very few academic qualifications, and it was an environment where I just didn't thrive. In fact, my school was so bad it closed down the year I left. And that experience has certainly left a mark on me, because it's instilled in me the importance of how crucial feedback is. Because when I went to college to resit my O-levels, as GCSEs were known then, that opened doors to A-levels and then onto a degree. And the reason why there were many reasons why college worked for me. There was no uniform, it wasn't Sir or Miss anymore, and it was a more liberal environment. But the real reason why college worked was because it was the first time in my life that a teacher actually took an interest in the work that I was doing and gave me one-to-one feedback. Yeah. And that has sort of stayed with me ever since, really. And that's why it's important that students do get supported in everything that they do, and that support comes from lots of different mechanisms. It's in the classroom, it's from personal tutors, it's from learning mentors, from counsellors. But to my mind, the best way that students can get support is by teaching staff, support staff, everybody in the college, just looking out for students. You know, even small things like smiling at people, that goes a long way, in my opinion.
Well, it's great you have a personal experience with it. What's your vision for Winstanley College in the future?
Well, I think Winstanley is already an outstanding place to be, but my vision is that it should be one of the top, very best sixth form colleges in the country, one of the top 5. And I guess you can measure that in different ways. It could be through results, it could be through destinations, but to my mind, the best way that you become one of the very best sixth form colleges in the country is word of mouth. And I want everybody, whether you're a student, a prospective student, a parent, carer, a member of the community, an employer, a university, just to think the same thing when they think of Winstanley. And what I want them to think is, oh, that's that amazing sixth form college that everybody does well.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's it for the college questions, but a few questions just for us to get to know you more. If you could pick 2 famous people to have dinner with, who would you pick and why?
Can they be alive or dead?
Both.
Okay, can I pick 2 who are alive and then 2 who are... Okay, in terms of the 2 figures from the past who are no longer with us, I would choose Alfred Hitchcock, the film director. I don't think he was a particularly pleasant person because he had some problematic views about women, but as a director, he had no equal in my opinion. He was just the most peerless director. So. With someone from a film media background like myself, I want to know why he directed things in the way that he did. I would also choose Clement Attlee, who used to be Prime Minister. He was the Labour Prime Minister after the Second World War, and one of my favourite leaders, because I just think he embodied leadership qualities that you wouldn't normally associate with a leader. So I'd be interested in talking to him about how he saw leadership and what made him tick. In terms of current day people, I would choose Michelle Obama because I think she's an inspirational person. And one of the things that strikes me about Michelle Obama is that young people really relate to her. So if somebody can get young people on board and on side, I think that takes a special skill. So I'd like to talk to her about how she does it. And then finally, I would choose Hannah Reid. Hannah Reid is the lead singer in a band called London Grammar. And I don't know whether you've ever heard of them, but she's the most incredible singer. She's got this ethereal voice, and the sound of London Grammar is a bit like a film score, and it's very evocative music, and I'd like to talk to her about how she does it.
I'm going to have to listen to that tonight. And finally, what are you having for tea this evening?
Spag bol. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but it's what's out of the freezer, and it's what I'm going to cook when I go home tonight. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
What a privilege to speak to Simon. I just want to say thank you for talking to us and taking time out of your day. We all really enjoyed getting to know you. And that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. For more updates, visit the Winstanley College website and social media. Thanks, bye. What an amazing start to the network from our T-level students.
That's all we have time for this week, but expect to see more new and interesting things from us from now on.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to be updated whenever we stream.
I've been Joe.
And I've been Phoebe. Thank you on behalf of the network for watching the show, and we'll catch up next time.